The signal from the void. Eli Grant sat alone in the cockpit of his ship, the Starlance. The stars outside were quiet, cold, and endless. Space looked peaceful, but Eli knew better. He had seen war. He had seen lies. Now, all he wanted was silence. No battles, no orders, no blood. Just cargo runs and long stretches of quiet. The ship's computer beeped softly. Incoming signal. Encrypted. Unknown source. Eli frowned. He wasn't expecting any messages. This part of space was called the void, an empty zone with no stations, no trade routes, and no one living. Signals didn't just appear here. "Play it," he said. Static. Then a weak voice, full of fear. "Please, and this is Princess Soraya of the Zalari people. If anyone hears me, help. They are coming. I have the key." The message cut off. Eli leaned forward. The Zalari. He had heard of them. A powerful alien race with advanced tech and strict rules. Humans had little contact with them. Some called them dangerous, others mysterious. A princess? Out here? Computer. Trace the signal. Signal is 32 clicks away. Low power. Possibly a life pod. His training told him to ignore it. The void was restricted. Many pilots who wandered here never came back. The rules were clear. No detours, no rescue missions. If someone was out here, they were either dead or bait. He sat back, staring at the blinking light on his console. The voice had sounded scared, real, not like a trap. "This is a bad idea," he whispered, but his hand was already on the controls. The Starlance moved through the dark, silent field of asteroids. The signal grew stronger. Finally, the pod appeared, small, cracked, and almost out of power. Eli carefully brought it into his cargo bay. He suited up and went inside. The pod was cold. Lights flickered. Inside, a strange figure lay still. She was tall, thin, with silver-blue skin and glowing lines running down her arms. Her breathing was shallow. Eli checked her vitals. Alive. But barely. Her eyes opened, glowing white, unfocused. "Who are you?" he asked. She struggled to speak. "You are human?" He nodded slowly. "Yes. And you're Princess Soraya?" She blinked slowly. "They betrayed me. I have to warn." Then she passed out. Eli stared at her. This was no trap. Someone had really tried to kill her. But why? He took her to the med bay and connected her to the life support. Her skin shimmered like metal. The machine struggled to read her biology but stabilized her condition. He watched her sleep, questions racing through his mind. Who betrayed her? Why was she running? What was the key she mentioned? He didn't get answers. Not yet. Hours later, she woke again. "You saved me," she said softly. "What happened?" Eli asked. "Why were you out there alone?" She looked away. "My own people turned on me. I found something. Something they want to keep hidden." "What did you find?" "A weapon, or maybe a cure. I don't know yet, but it could change everything, and that's why they want me dead." Eli sat down across from her. "You called for help. Why send the signal here to the void?" "Because no one listens in the light," she said. "Only in the dark do secrets live." Before Eli could reply, alarms flashed. Multiple ships approaching. Class, human. Weapons armed. His eyes widened. "Humans? How did they find us?" Soraya sat up, weak but alert. "They work with my enemies now. They will kill us both." Eli ran to the cockpit. 5 ships were closing in. No ID, but definitely military design. "You brought a lot of trouble, Princess. You don't have to stay," she said. "Let me go. Save yourself." Eli looked at the blinking radar, then back at her pale, tired face. "No," he said. "I've run enough in my life." He fired the engines. The Starlance shot forward, into the dark, dodging the first wave of missiles. The ship shook as a blast grazed their side. Soraya held onto the wall. If we reach Sector 7, there's a hidden gate. We can escape. What's on the other side? She looked at him. Hope. Maybe. Eli smiled faintly. Good enough. The chase had begun, and deep in the stars a secret was about to change the galaxy. She's not what she seems. The Starlance moved through the black sea of space like a hunted animal. Its engines burned hot, its shields flickered. Behind it, 5 human ships followed, silent, fast, deadly. Eli Grant gritted his teeth, hands. Locked on the controls, they're still on us, he muttered. Fast ships, not military, but trained. In the back of the ship, Princess Soraya sat in silence, her eyes closed. Her silver-blue skin glowed faintly under the emergency lights. Her wounds were healing quickly, too quickly for a normal body. Eli had noticed. But right now, questions had to wait. The ship shook again. Missile lock. Evasive maneuvers required. Eli spun the Starlance hard left. A missile flew past the cockpit window and exploded behind them. That was too close, he said. You said, these weren't your people? Soraya opened her eyes. They're not. They're yours. He turned. My people? Humans? Yes, she said calmly. Not all humans work for your government. Some are paid by the highest bidder. Mercenaries. Assassins. Eli looked back at the radar. Then someone paid a lot to see you dead. She nodded once. More than you can imagine. After 30 more minutes of dodging, Eli found a dense asteroid field nearby. Dangerous, but the only place to hide. He flew straight into it. The pursuing ships paused. Cowards, Eli whispered. They won't risk the rocks. He cut the engines, powered down lights, and sat in the dark. Silence. For a moment, the universe held its breath. He stood and walked back to the med bay. Soraya was sitting up now, eyes scanning the ship's ceiling. You have questions? She said before he could speak. Yes, Eli said. Let's start with the basics. What are you really? She tilted her head. I told you, I'm the daughter of High Queen Shen of the Zalari system. I was trained in science, diplomacy, and defense. But I saw something I wasn't supposed to. And when I tried to expose it, they tried to erase you. Eli finished. Yes. What did you see? She looked down at her hands. The lines running along her arms began to glow brighter. There is a project, she said softly. A joint mission between Zalari leaders and certain human governments. They're building something. Something that could wipe out entire species. Not with weapons, but with code. Code? A virus, she whispered. Not for machines. For biology. Eli felt a cold shiver run down his back. Biocode? She nodded. I have part of the original data inside me. It's locked, hidden in my neural net. Eli took a step back. Wait, you're carrying the data? Inside your mind? Yes. And as long as I live, they can't finish the weapon. So they want to kill you, or capture you, copy it. Exactly. Eli sat down across from her. So, you're not just a princess? You're a weapon, or the key to one. Soraya didn't answer. Her silence said enough. Sometime later, Eli went to check the ship systems. That's when he saw it. A faint, blinking red light on the dashboard. Something small, hidden, deep in the power circuits. A tracker. Eli stared at it in disbelief. Someone planted it here. His blood ran hot. He pulled it out, crushed it under his boot, and stormed back to Soraya. You told me you were running, he said. But you didn't say you brought a tracker. Soraya looked up slowly. I had to hide the beacon. I didn't know if you were safe. So you risked my life? My ship? She stood, her face calm but serious. You came for me. You made a choice. I made one too. You think you saved me, but I also saved you. From what? From a quiet life. From blind loyalty. From the lies your people feed you. Eli clenched his fists. You used me. No, she said. I tested you. He stared at her for a long moment. The silence between them was louder than any gunfire. Suddenly, the ship lights flickered. External systems breached. What now? Eli rushed back to the cockpit. A voice came through the speakers. Deep, distorted. Eli. Grant, hand over the asset. You have 10 minutes or we breach your hull. He looked at Soraya. They found us, even in the field. She nodded. You destroyed the tracker, but not the ghost. Ghost? A virus. Digital. Hidden in the pod. It woke when you opened it. Eli slammed a fist on the console, so they always knew where you were, even before the signal. Soraya looked out the window. I was never supposed to escape. Eli drew his blaster. Then let's make sure you don't go back. They prepared for boarding. Soraya opened a secret panel in her suit, pulling out a small device that pulsed with light. What is that? Eli asked. This will disable their systems, but only for 30 seconds. Enough for you to run. I'm not leaving without you. She looked at him. Then we run together. The enemy ships began to move in. Eli grinned. I hate running. Me too, she said. The countdown began. The lights dimmed, and the real game had just started. The hunter and the hunted. The Starlets shot out of the asteroid field like a bullet, flames trailing from one engine, smoke filling the rear deck. Inside, alarms blared, and wires sparked above Eli's head as he pushed the ship to its limit. Behind him, 2 enemy ships gave chase. The others had been disabled, and for now, by Soraya's device. But it had worked only for a short time. Too short. Eli shouted into the comms. We need a place to land, now. Soraya, strapped into the co-pilot seat, closed her eyes and scanned through galactic charts. There's a derelict research station in Sector 9. Abandoned. We can hide there. Can it hold off a full assault? No, she said calmly. But it has something we need, which is proof. The station floated in orbit around a dead planet. Large chunks of its structure were broken, hanging like bones in space. The landing dock was half collapsed, but Eli managed to bring the ship in. The moment they landed, Soraya grabbed a pack and jumped out. What's in there? He asked, following her. This station used to be neutral ground, she said. Scientists from many species worked here, sharing knowledge. But years ago it was shut down. Quietly, without reason, they moved through the dark, rusted corridors, guided only by the dim blue glow from Soraya's arm. I came here once as a child, she said. My mother said knowledge was the most dangerous weapon. Eli raised an eyebrow. You think the truth is here? I know it is. As they walked, Eli felt something strange, like being watched. The air was thick, and not just from dust. Suddenly, a shadow moved in the corner of his eye. Wait, he said, stopping. What is it? We're not alone. They reached the station's main lab. Broken glass, overturned tables, and shattered data screens surrounded them, but in the center of the room stood a locked terminal, glowing faintly. Soraya stepped forward. This is it. She placed her hand on the panel. The lines on her skin lit up, and the terminal came to life. Data scrolled across the screen. Files, reports, footage. Eli leaned in. What he saw chilled him. A joint human-Zalari project, labeled Project Silence. It was worse than a weapon. The footage showed test subjects, both human and alien, collapsing in seconds. A virus that could target species through DNA. Clean, fast, and untraceable, and they had planned to release it. Eli backed away. This is genocide. Soraya nodded. They call it control. We call it extinction. Who knew about this? She looked at him, her voice quiet. Everyone at the top. Eli clenched his fists. So all of this, the attack, the bounty, the lies, just to hide this? Before she could answer, a voice echoed through the hall. Put your hands up, both of you. Eli turned, blaster drawn. A man stepped out of the shadows, armor black, face hidden behind a dark visor, but Eli recognized the voice. "Commander Haldren," he said, stunned. The man removed his helmet, silver hair, scar down his cheek. "Hello, Grant. You're supposed to be dead." Haldren smirked. "Funny, so were you." He looked at Soraya. "The runaway princess. The walking vault. You're more trouble than you're worth." Eli stepped in front of her. "You're here for the data." Haldren nodded. "And to clean up this mess. How much are they paying you now?" "More than your life is worth." What happened? Next was fast. Eli shot first. Haldren rolled and returned fire. Blasts flew across the lab, hitting walls and machines. Soraya dove behind the console, pulling out her device again. "Cover me," she shouted. Eli took 2 hits, one in the arm, one in the shoulder, but kept firing. Haldren moved like a ghost, trained and cold. "You can't protect her forever," he shouted. Eli growled. "Watch me try." Soraya activated the device. A pulse of energy pushed Haldren back. For 5 seconds, the lights went out, just enough time to run. They escaped through the maintenance shaft, bleeding and breathing hard. Back on the Starlance, Eli collapsed in the pilot seat, gripping his arm. Soraya wrapped a bandage around his wound. "You didn't have to take the shot for me." "Yes, I did," he said. "You're the only one who can stop this." "Why do you trust me?" she asked quietly. "You barely know me." Eli looked at her. "Because you're risking everything for the truth. Because you could have run, but you didn't." She stared at him for a long moment. "They'll come after us harder now," she said. "Haldren won't stop, and others will follow." "Then we hit back," Eli said. "We use the proof. We send it to everyone who still cares." She nodded, slowly. "There's one place that can broadcast this data across the entire galactic net." "Where?" "A relay tower," she said. "Deep in no man's land. Guarded, dangerous, but free." Eli smiled, blood on his lip. "Sounds perfect." But as the ship lifted off, neither of them noticed the small blinking light beneath the console. Another tracker. A new one. Someone else was watching now. Someone worse. The hunter had become the hunted, and the real enemy hadn't even revealed itself yet. Trust has a price. The Starlance drifted silently through unmarked space, hidden between solar storms and ancient wreckage. Eli had shut down all non-essential systems. Lights were dim. Engines were cold. If they were being tracked, the ship would look dead. He didn't say a word for a long time. He just sat in the pilot chair, arm bandaged, blood still drying on his shirt. Soraya stood behind him, watching. "You haven't spoken since we left." "The station," she said. "Not much to say," Eli muttered. "You're angry." He turned slowly, eyes tired but sharp. "I trusted you. You said the tracker was destroyed. Then we find another one, hidden deeper inside my ship." "I didn't know," she said calmly. "You think I want to be hunted?" "I think I don't know what you want." Soraya stepped closer. "I want the truth to come out. I want to stop the weapon. I want peace." "Peace doesn't ride with deception." There was silence between them. Then Eli stood and walked past her. "Next time," he said, "if you're hiding something, just say it." They reached the edge of the no man's land, a chaotic zone filled with debris from ancient wars. In the center stood a massive structure floating in orbit. The Greystar Relay Tower, abandoned by all governments, now run by pirates and independent smugglers. It was the only place where a broadcast couldn't be blocked. As Eli prepared the docking codes, a message came through. "This is Greystar Command. Identify yourself or be vaporized." Eli clicked on the mic. "Eli Grant, freelance, non-aligned, carrying information, sensitive." There was a pause. Static. Then a gruff voice replied, "You have 5 minutes." Docker turned to dust. Eli looked at Soraya. "We get in, we send the data, we disappear." She nodded, but she looked nervous. "What?" he asked. "I've been here before," she said, and someone else has too. Inside Greystar, the air smelled of oil and smoke. Pirates, traders, bounty hunters. Everyone walked with weapons ready. No one trusted anyone here. It was a place where life was cheap and secrets were currency. They made their way to the core hub where the main transmitter stood. Eli uploaded the decrypted data, preparing to blast it across the networks. "How long will it take?" she asked. 2 minutes, he replied. Once it sends, it can't be stopped. But before he could press send, a gun pressed against the back of his neck. "Step away from the console, Grant." Eli froze. The voice was familiar. He turned slowly and saw Commander Haldren again, alive, calm, gun in hand, flanked by 2 heavily armed mercs. Soraya's eyes widened. "How? You think a pulse bomb could stop me?" Haldren smirked. "I've died more times than I can count." Eli clenched his jaw. "You followed us." Haldren nodded. "You brought me right to the tower. I should thank you." "Kill us and the truth dies with us." "No," Haldren said. "We just make a new truth." He reached for the console. Then, bang. A shot rang out. One of Haldren's men fell, blood spraying across the metal floor. Another figure stepped into view, a woman with a long coat, one mechanical arm and eyes like burning gold. Eli's heart stopped. Kara? Kara Grant, Eli's sister, the one who'd vanished during the war, the one everyone said had died. "Hello, little brother," she said. The room exploded into chaos. Blaster fire lit up the console room. Soraya grabbed the data. Core and Dove for cover. Eli tackled Haldren. They crashed into a table, fists flying. Haldren was older, stronger, but Eli fought like a man who'd lost everything already. Kara took down the other merc with a shot to the head. Finally, Haldren kicked Eli back and activated a grenade. "If I can't win, I'll bury the truth with all of you." Eli rolled to the ground as the grenade flew, but Kara caught it midair, threw it down a shaft and slammed the door shut before it exploded. Boom. The floor shook. Hallerton escaped into the smoke. Eli coughed, blood in his mouth. "Why are you here?" Kara helped him up. "I was hired to kill the princess." He stared at her. She smiled. "But I decided not to." "Why?" Kara looked at Soraya, then back at Eli. "Because I believe her, and because I owe you. With Haldren gone out for now, and the data still intact, Eli and Soraya returned to the transmitter. But the system was damaged. "We can't send a wide signal," Eli said. "Range is limited now." Soraya thought for a moment. "Can we send it to one target?" "Maybe, if we choose right." They had one chance. Eli entered a command. A name. Someone powerful. Someone once loyal to truth. High General Rylan of Earth's old fleet. Retired. Disgraced, but respected. The message was sent, and then they ran. Back on the ship, Kara joined them. "You're coming with us?" Eli asked. "Until this is done," she said. "After that, who knows?" "You've changed." Kara smiled. "So have you." As the ship moved away from Greystar, Eli turned to Soraya. "We sent the message, but will anyone believe it?" "Some will," she said. "Enough." He nodded. "What now?" "We go to the beginning," she said, "where the project started, where the truth was buried, deep in the vaults of Zeladar Prime. Enemy, territory, my home." Eli leaned back in his chair. This just keeps getting better. But deep inside he knew this was only the middle. The real price of trust hadn't been paid yet, but it was coming, and not everyone would survive it. The Blood Pact. The journey to Zeladar Prime was quiet. Too quiet. Eli Grant sat in the co-pilot seat, watching the stars shift outside the window. He couldn't sleep, not with what was ahead. Kara was at the helm, chewing a piece of stale ration bread, eyes fixed on the map. She was always calm before chaos. Soraya stood alone near the observation glass, her hand resting against the cold metal. The glow from her veins pulsed slowly like she was breathing through her skin. Eli finally broke the silence. We're heading straight into enemy space. You sure this vault even exists? Yes, Soraya replied. My mother ordered it built during the peace years. It holds records, prototypes, and something else. What something else? She turned, eyes dark. A memory, one they tried to erase. Zeladar Prime was not the same. The once golden capital of the Zalari Empire now floated under black clouds. The city below was locked down, shielded, patrolled by drones. Towers once used for science now held weapons on every rooftop. The Starlets entered undetected through a weather gap, landing in the ruins outside the old capital. From there, they moved on foot. Eli, Kara, and Soraya walked through overgrown stone paths, broken statues, and decaying temples. You grew up here? Kara asked. Not in this part, Soraya said. This was the old city, abandoned after the new government took control. They feared what was buried here. What exactly are we looking for? Eli asked. Soraya pointed to a stone tower ahead, small, forgotten, half collapsed. That. It didn't look like much, but once inside, Soraya activated a hidden panel in the floor. A blue light scanned her body. The floor shifted, and the tower descended into the ground. Deep below, they entered the vault of silence. Walls of glowing crystal lined the halls. Memories locked in data forms floated in liquid chambers. And in the center, a pedestal holding a metal cube. Humming quietly, Soraya approached it with reverence. This is what they wanted me to forget, she said. What is it? Eli asked. She touched the cube. Light spread across the room, holograms playing in the air. A young Soraya, a smiling queen. Peace meetings, experiments, and then war. Soldiers storming labs. Scientists executed, a deal made in shadows. Zalari, leaders trading lives for power, working with select human factions to develop the bioweapon. And the final image, Soraya being dragged away as her mother was shot. The light faded. Eli stepped back, stunned. They murdered your mother and blamed it on rebels. They needed a new enemy, she whispered, and they needed me gone. Kara crossed her arms. So what now? We have the truth, again, and they'll still try to silence us. Soraya turned. Not if we strike first. How? I make a broadcast. From the central tower in the capital. Live. Uncensored. They can't block it once it begins. That's suicide, Kara said. It's justice. They returned to the surface under night cover. The storm had started, lightning flashing purple across the clouds. As they moved toward the capital walls, Soraya paused. Someone's watching. Eli looked around. You sure? I know the feeling, she said. We're being followed. Kara pulled out her rifle. Then let's flush them out. They moved into a ruined building and waited. Footsteps approached. Eli raised his blaster. A shadow entered, slow, unarmed, and then stepped into view, a Zalari male. Royal armor, a face both familiar and cruel. Soraya's voice cracked. Valen, her brother. He lowered his hood. Sister, you look tired. Eli stepped forward. So you're the traitor prince? Valen smiled. Labels are for the weak. I chose order. You chose chaos. You betrayed your own blood, Soraya spat. I saved our people. You would have let them rot with human lies. Kara aimed her rifle. Say the wrong word, and I'll decorate the wall with your insides. Valen raised his hands. I didn't come to fight. I came to offer a choice. He looked at Eli. Give her to me, and walk away alive. Eli shook his head. Not happening. Think, Valen said. You send that message, and the galaxy burns. Millions will die. Governments will fall. Do you want that blood on your hands? Eli looked at Soraya. She didn't blink. We already have blood on our hands, she said. We just choose whose blood it is. Valen's face twisted. Then you've made your decision. He raised a hidden transmitter. A blast rocked the building. Drones swarmed from the sky. Ambush. What followed was chaos. Kara fired into the swarm, taking down 3 drones with perfect shots. Eli covered Soraya as she ran toward the exit. But then, boom, a drone exploded above them. Debris rained down. Kara was hit. Eli turned just in time to see her drop to her knees, blood gushing. From her side, Kara. She looked up, face pale. Go, she whispered. Don't stop no matter what. I'm not leaving you. But she shoved a detonator into his hand. You'll need a distraction. Eli stared at her, her face, her blood, his sister. Don't let it be for nothing, she said, and smiled. Then she charged the oncoming drones and vanished in fire. Eli and Soraya escaped through the lower tunnels. She looked at him, tears in her eyes. I'm sorry. He didn't answer. He couldn't. His chest burned, his throat locked. Kara was gone, his last family. But her last words rang in his ears. Don't stop. They reached the capital. Dawn was coming. The central tower stood ahead, surrounded by shields, guards, death. Soraya turned to Eli. You don't have to come. I do, he said, because now it's personal. She took his hand. Then let's end this. They walked together into the storm, to finish what others died for, and to pay the price of the blood pact. The last gate. They ran through the Undercity like shadows in a forgotten dream. Above them, the towers of Zeladar Prime pulsed with energy. Patrol ships soared past, scanning every block. Sirens echoed. Drones filled the sky like metal insects. Grant's lungs burned. His shoulder throbbed from the last firefight, but he didn't stop. Soraya ran beside him, silent and focused. She had blood on her hands. Some of it was her own, most of it wasn't. The city behind them was on fire. Kara was gone, but her death had bought them time, and now they were down to one final move. The towers locked down, Eli said, breathless. We'll never break in directly. We don't have to, Soraya said. We just need to reach the last gate. He looked at her. I thought the gates were shut down. This one isn't, she said. Not fully. It was built in secret beneath the capital. A failsafe for the royal family. And it connects to the old nexus. So we use it to send the broadcast? We use it to hijack every network channel in 3 systems. Eli smirked. Sounds like fun. Soraya didn't smile. It's not. They reached the old tunnels beneath the central tower, carved in stone long before the Zalari learned to float cities. The walls were marked with ancient symbols and the air was thick with dust and power. But something felt off. Eli stopped. Wait, Soraya turned. What is it? He stepped slowly forward, hand on his blaster. This place, it feels wrong. Too quiet. And then they heard it. A voice. You shouldn't have come here, little sister. A figure stepped out from the shadows, cloaked in dark armor, a weapon in hand. Soraya's face went pale. Valen. Her brother. Again. But this time, he wasn't alone. Behind him stood a line of elite Zalari guards, eyes glowing, weapons ready. Eli raised his blaster. You're like a bad dream that keeps coming back, he said. Valen ignored him. He looked only at Soraya. You could have had a seat at the new table. I offered it once. I won't again. You sit on a throne of lies, she said, built from the bones of our mother. Valen smiled sadly. Then let's bury the past together. He raised his hand. The guards charged. The tunnels exploded into chaos. Eli fired left, dropped one guard. Soraya moved right, activating a shield pulse from her arm, deflecting a blast just inches from her face. Valen stepped back, letting his soldiers do the work. He wanted to see them bleed, but Eli was faster than expected. Sharper. Angrier. He'd lost too much to hesitate. 2 more guards dropped. Then 3. Soraya pushed forward, face twisted with fury. I won't run anymore, she shouted, slamming her palm into the wall. A hidden door opened. Go, she yelled. I'll hold them. Eli grabbed her arm. Not this time. He tossed an EMP grenade behind them, shutting down the enemy suits for just 10 seconds. They ran into the vault before the darkness lifted. Inside, the last gate waited, a massive circular platform, dead and cold. Above it, ancient Zalari tech hummed silently, waiting for a voice it could trust. Soraya stepped forward and placed her hand on the panel. Lights flickered. A low rumble echoed through the chamber. "It's waking up," she said. "What happens now?" Eli asked. "Once it's online, it will create a signal tunnel, a one-shot path to the old nexus, but it will burn itself out after that. So no turning back." "No." She turned to him. "Eli, there's something I haven't told. Hugh." He tensed. "More secrets?" "This one isn't mine." Before she could explain, the gate roared to life. A blinding light filled the room, and out of it stepped a figure. Wounded, arm missing. "Kara." Eli froze. You're dead." Kara coughed, weak but standing. "Not yet. But close." He ran to her, caught her as she stumbled. "How?" "Blast didn't kill me, just buried me. Someone pulled me out." Eli looked up. Behind her was Haldren, alive, again, and smiling. The tension in the room snapped tight like a wire. Eli drew his blaster. Kara raised a shaky hand. "Wait! What the hell is this?" Eli shouted. Haldren raised both hands. "I saved her. Nothing more." "Why? Would you?" "Because I saw what you're fighting for," Haldren said. "And because I used to believe in something too." Soraya stepped forward. "So what? You want redemption?" "I want to finish what we all started," Haldren said, and the silence exposed the truth. Eli didn't trust him, but he looked at Kara. She nodded. "He had a chance to kill me. He didn't." Soraya walked to the gate console. "Then help me. Both of you." They connected the data core. The gate lit up again. Countdown began. "We've got 60 seconds to broadcast," Soraya said. "Once it starts, there's no stopping." But then, the room shook. Valen had found them. He entered with his remaining soldiers, wounded but furious. "You think a little signal will change?" "The galaxy," he shouted. "You think truth matters?" "Yes," Soraya said. Valen raised a plasma blade. "Then die with it." He charged. The final battle began. Haldren and Kara fought back to back, a broken assassin and a half-dead soldier. Eli and Valen clashed in the center, blaster versus blade. Soraya stood at the console, fingers dancing across it. 1 minute. 40 seconds, 30. Valen knocked Eli down. "You were always just a tool," he spat. Eli grinned. "Then let's break something." He pulled a charge pack from his belt, stabbed it into Valen's blade as it came down. Boom. The explosion threw them both back. Valen was gone. Eli lay bleeding. Soraya hit the final command. The gate pulsed. The signal launched, a blast of light and truth across the stars. The war had changed. Governments scrambled, riots sparked, alliances broke, but something new was born. Hope. Eli woke up 3 days later on a medical ship. Kara sat beside him, arm wrapped in steel. "We did it," she said. "Soraya?" he asked. Kara nodded. She made it. But she stayed behind. The people needed a leader. And Haldren? Gone. Vanished. Maybe that's for the best. Eli looked out the window. Stars moved slowly now. The galaxy was broken. But it could be rebuilt. And the last gate had opened a future no one could close. Hope born in fire. The war didn't end in a single day. Truth may cut deeper than any weapon, but it takes time to bleed. The signal Soraya broadcasted from the last gate shattered the illusion of peace. Across human systems, rebellions rose. Zalari colonies broke their silence. Governments collapsed. Secret alliances were exposed like rot under skin. Some chose chaos. Others chose silence. But many, finally, chose to fight for something. Real. Eli Grant stood on the edge of a shattered cliff on Asari 4, where the ruins of an old Zalari temple overlooked the sea. Waves crashed below and the wind carried ash from distant fires. Behind him, the rebuilding had begun. Not cities, but trust. Kara walked toward him, still limping. Her new arm gleamed in the sun, black metal with silver veins. Battle-scarred, but strong. She stopped beside her brother, silent for a while. I thought the end would feel more final, she said. Eli smirked. That's the thing about endings. They always lead to something else. They looked down at the crowd gathered in the field below. Humans and Zalari, soldiers and civilians, scientists and exiles, all waiting for the one person who had lit the spark. Soraya. She stepped onto the platform in the center of the field. Her silver-blue skin was marked with scars, her royal suit replaced with a simple white cloak. No crown, no throne, just the truth in her voice. She spoke not as a princess, but as a survivor. We have all lost something, she said, her voice steady. A home, a family, a future we were promised but never given. But we are still here. We are the children of fire. And now, we will build from the ashes. The crowd bowed their heads, not in submission, in respect. After the speech, Eli met her behind the platform. You've become something more than royalty, he said. She smiled faintly. You sound surprised. I'm not, just proud. The broadcast reached over 50 systems, she said. Some want peace. Some want revenge. We've started something we can't fully control. Eli nodded. Truth is like fire. Once it spreads, you can't hold it. She looked at him. You should stay. We'll need someone like you. He hesitated. I'm not sure what I am anymore. You're the man who risked everything for someone he didn't know, and lost his sister in the process. Kara's voice came from behind them. Not dead. Just annoyed you left me to bleed. Eli turned and laughed. You're impossible. I'm your sister. Soraya stepped between them, holding out a small black device. Then take this, she said. It's the last fragment of the biocode, the original one, pure and unedited. Eli looked at it. Why me? Because I'm going to destroy the other copies, she said. But one must remain, hidden, safe. Kara raised an eyebrow. And you trust him? Soraya looked Eli in the eye. With my life. That night, the stars over Isari 4 burned brighter than usual. A temporary peace settled in the camp. People sang old songs, shared food, told stories. For the first time in a long time, there was laughter. Eli couldn't sleep. He walked alone to the old ruins again, sat on a stone, and stared at the small black device in his hand. Inside it was the power to end species or save them. He could destroy it, or keep it, or use it. Kara found him before sunrise. You're thinking too loud, she said, sitting next to him. What would you do with it? He asked. Burn it, she said, without hesitation. Even if it could save people someday? Or wipe them out? He looked at the stars. Then maybe it's not up to us. She tilted her head. You're planning something. He didn't answer, but she knew him too well. 3 days later, Eli left in a stolen courier ship with no goodbye. Not even to Soraya. He left only a message. I'm taking the fragment, not to use it, not to destroy it. I'm hiding it where no government, no army, no prince or politician will ever find it. If the galaxy ever earns peace, then maybe someone will come looking. Until then, I'll be watching. E. Months passed. The alliance between rebels and free colonies formed a new council. Human and Zalari voices both present. Soraya refused the title of queen. Instead, she took a new name. The Witness. A leader not above, but beside. Kara became commander of the Guardian Fleet, a scattered band of ex-soldiers and pirates now sworn to protect the truth, not any flag. And Eli? No one knew where he went. Some said he vanished into the deep void. Others said he died. A few whispered that he walks among stars no one dares name. But there was one thing everyone agreed on. He had changed the course of history. Not with guns. Not with glory, but with a choice. To believe in someone who wasn't human, to protect her, even when it cost him everything. In the end, the galaxy didn't become perfect. Corruption didn't vanish. Greed didn't die. But somewhere on the edge of known space, a signal repeats. Every 7 days, a voice saying, "We are not enemies. We are not gods. We are people. And we rise together." That signal is hope. And it was born in fire.